Greetings folks, it's the 31st of August 2020 and we have a monster typhoon heading in towards close to Okinawa, which is up here, and this island is in the direct path the typhoon's name is Maysak and it is currently 100 knots. That's a category 3 hurricane strength typhoon, and it is forecast to intensify, pass to the south of the main island of Okinawa, but heading very close to that other island we saw. Here we go, we've got the JTWC track up in Google Earth, and you can see tonight the storm coming through and passing very close to this island. So the main island of Okinawa is Naha, and then this one is the island of Kume is the island, and it's got quite a lot going on it. I'm not sure what the population is. Looks like the population is just a few thousand, 7,647, and we're looking towards the north now, and so the storm will come in and probably hit the east coast particularly bad with the biggest waves. You can see that there are some pretty good sea defenses on this island. Drag it in there. They've got in quite typical Japanese style some pretty serious sea defenses for precisely the reason for the fact that they are in kind of Typhoon Alley, really. On this island really are in the thick of it, aren't they? Because that's the track of the storm, and 110 knots, that makes it a category 3, but I mean obviously that's uncertain. It could well be a category 4, and looks like they're going to get pretty much the worst part of the high wall. Let's have a look at the Hurricane Wharf and whatnot. Here is the Hurricane Wharf surface winds, and at the initialization you can see, I think that's one barb there with two triangles. That means 100 knots. So their initialization is that, and then the island in question is up here, and as you can see there is the hit, and it's directly in the right side of the eye wall. Pressure 943, and then it passes through. So that's at 18Z, that's what the JTWC had it, and it looks like, so that is pretty much as bad a point in the storm as you're going to get. So it looks like they are going to get direct landfall with category 3 plus winds sustained over the island. It's going to be a very serious hit, but they are, I expect, very well prepared for such an event like this. Wow. Beyond that, the storm then heads in, maintains a pretty decent intensity, seems to expand in the H wharf. Pressure levels out at 941, remains constant, then you can see it's bombing it towards South Korea at that point with a very large, looking pretty large anyway, wind field. That's suggesting a large eye, so some kind of eye wall replacement, large eye. At that point, big donut of hurricane force winds bombing it in towards South Korea. You have to switch models to the European sensor model to get the longer term forecast. There is Kumejima, that's the name right, and the storm comes through, passes Kumejima, similar track to the H wharf, and I'm going to have to scroll this up and maybe out to get the full picture. Let's see, where is it going? On the ECMWF, coming in, going to the east of Jeju, and then looking like a direct strike on Busan, and then up the eastern coast of South Korea before heading towards North Korea and eventually China and Russia. So that is a pretty serious looking landfall. There's some topographic stuff going to be going on in close to Busan, and timing wise that is Thursday 3 AM Japan time, which is Wednesday late on UTC time. So anyway, early, very early, overnight on Wednesday, Thursday, things going to be coming in, bombing it in, hitting South Korea just in time for rush hour. It's a pretty serious looking landfall. Busan is a pretty decent sized city, isn't it? Busan has a population of 3.4 million in the metropolitan city. Total around is more like 7 million in the metro. This is the GFS showing the storm come up. South Korea is in here, North Korea up here, and the storm coming in. There you can see it striking Busan as well and bringing an absolute ton of rain to both South and North Korea. That is a serious flooding looking situation, certainly for several hours of intense torrential rain, really heavy. Let's see what the totals are. Here are the total accumulated. It's the total accumulated rainfall. If it gets into the yellows, it's 300 millimeters. That's 30 centimeters. So it's a lot. It doesn't quite get up there, but it's a lot of rain over a relatively short period. So I guess the good news is that it does pass through fairly quickly, and actually the totals don't get up to astronomical values, although for a while it's going to be major rain, and it will be at rush hour, I think, around that time, rush hours. So expect quite a lot of disruption in South Korea, a lot of disruption in the morning of Thursday. Here's the latest infrared since it is now nighttime. Unfortunately, the Renminbi slider doesn't have the best coastline in the world because they're missing Kumejima. But it is somewhere out here. Looks like maybe here. Certainly not that big. Anyway, it's in the path, and this is looking intensifying, very nasty. And it could potentially be a record breaker in terms of the pressure recorded on the island. Someone was putting something about that on Twitter. I'll have to check more carefully. So actually, we've got the Japan Meteorological Agency's radar up and running. They've got a complete look at this. They've got the whole circulation coming in, and there is Kumejima in there, and there's Naha, Okinawa. So the center very distinct, and you can actually probably track it and see where it's going, wobbling up towards the north. That is one hell of a radar image. So I think I'm gonna leave it at that. Let's see what happens. Looks like a real nasty landfall. Catch you in the next one.